Kakbhushundi arrived under the banyan tree, mentally invoked Sri Ram, and began the story. Chitrakoot Hill, suggested by Rishi Valmiki as a dwelling place for Sri Ram, was a forested area rich in birds, animals, and a variety of flora. The beautiful Mandakini, a stream of the holy Ganga, flowed close by. Chitrakoot was also the abode of Rishi Atri and his wife Anasuya. Several rishis lived there and they all awaited Sri Ram's arrival. The Devtas, disguised as tribal folk, arrived at Chitrakoot and along with Lakshman built two cottages, a big one for Ram and Sita and a smaller one for Lakshman. In front of the two huts was a small clearing, in the middle of which was a beautiful banyan tree with its thick and abundant foliage. Beneath the tree was a platform where the rishis and munis would gather and discuss the Shastras and Purans with Sri Ram. The animals of the forest would draw close and observe all that Sri Ram did. How he sat, how he talked, how he laughed, ate, and slept. But why did they do that? Asked the docile dove. Because they had so much to learn from him, replied Kakbhushundi. The wolves learned to eat slowly and not just tear into their food ferociously. The monkeys learned to be silent when others were speaking. The deer realized that if it looked carefully, it could find something to admire in every single creature, including the tiger. The squirrel noticed that Ram kept everything very tidy and clean. So it rushed up the tree into its den and sorted out the untidy pile of nuts in the corner. And what did the birds learn? Squawked the littlest parrot. The birds were amazed to hear the sweet singing of Sri Ram and Sita Devi, said Kakbhushundi. And they understood that they were not the only ones who could sing. So they learned to listen carefully and to revel in devotional music. At Chitrakoot, said Kakbhushundi, continuing with his tale, an endless stream of people arrived regularly to meet Sri Ram every day. Besides the Devtas, the Rishis and Munis, there were the Nagas, Kinnaras, guardians of the quarters and others. The inhabitants of the forest like the Bheels, the Kols and Kirats, who were the various tribes that lived by hunting, also came. They arrived with offerings of fruit and water and were overjoyed at seeing the beauty of Sri Ram, Sita Devi and Lakshmana. The spontaneous love of these simple folk was what touched Sri Ram the most. Although he had long and meaningful discussions with the rishis and munis, when he met these simple folk, he would sit with them on the ground for long periods of time. He would chat and laugh with them with complete ease. Sri Ram valued their love above everything else. The birds and animals living at Chitrakoot also experienced the same love as the jungle folk, and they considered themselves most blessed to be able to behold Sri Ram every single day. Then what happened was that the many rivers of Bharat, such as the Ganga, Yamuna, Narmada, Godavari and others, all bowed down to the river Mandakini because Sri Ram resided near her bank. She was considered specially exalted and they could not help feeling a bit envious. Chitrakoot Hill also gained renown because Sri Ram resided on it. It came to be known as Ram Shail, Ram Giri, or Ram Parvat. Even the forest around became the most auspicious forest, and it was referred to as Ram Van. The other woods and forests in the country grew envious of it, and in this way many happy days went by. But, said Kakbushundi in a softer tone, do you know what Chitrakoot symbolizes? Of course, there is the physical Chitrakoot, but there is also another Chitrakoot, and that you can find within you. There were whistles and screeches of wonder and excitement. Some birds even hopped from foot to foot in impatience to discover what that inner Chitrakoot was. Chitrakoot, affirmed Kakbushundi, symbolizes a pure and beautiful mind. The Mandakini is the river of stories of Sri Ram. The surrounding forest, gardens and groves represent the emotions of love and affection for Sri Ram in our hearts. In such a Chitrakoot-like mind, Ram and Sita wander about as the embodiments of bliss and peace. There was a hushed silence while everyone tried to absorb this. All of you have very pure minds, declared Kakbushundi, looking benevolently at his audience. Because you are sitting at this sacred site of Meru Parvat, where Maya has no power. Therefore, all your negativities have disappeared. You are listening to this divine story day after day, and that is the river Mandakini. The love, joy, or sorrow that you feel at different points of this story represent the forest, garden, and groves around the huts of Sri Ram and Sita Devi. And in such minds filled with love, wonder, and devotion, you naturally experience bliss and peace. Therefore, Chitrakoot is your own mind, and Ram and Sita are the bliss and peace that you experience because of the love that this story evokes in you. The expressions of the birds spoke volumes. They were in rapture. Everyone, said Kakbushundi softly, can create that same Chitrakoot in their own mind by constantly listening to this story and by always keeping Sri Ram in their thoughts. But now the curtain of the night was fast descending, and the story session had to end. The birds bowed down to Kakbushundi and flew off to perch for the night.